Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. On October 10th, 2022, the Russians started a new phase in their military operation, special military operation, as a result or consequence of the Ukrainians, according to the Russians, of blowing the Kerch Bridge, the Crimean Bridge. So the Russians claim that Kerch, the Crimean Bridge, was blown up by the Ukrainians with the help of foreign agencies, British agencies actually, British. Supposedly, this is what the Russians said. The Russians warned the Ukrainians that if they touch that bridge, they will pay a big price. Now this is the price. Since the 10th of October until now, according to Zelensky and other sources, I said other sources because Zelensky is not trustworthy, obviously, for obvious reasons, and others that are not that obvious. 40% of the Ukrainian infrastructure was blown up. Critical infrastructure was blown up by the Russians in 21, 22 days. Then on Saturday morning, I think it was, the Ukrainians, again with help of, according to the Russians, with the help of the UK's Navy specialists, British specialists, they attacked the Sevastopol, the ships, the Russian Navy docked over there. And then the Russians said, you know what, we're gonna increase again our bombardment of the critical infrastructure of Ukraine, which happened yesterday and today again. Now today we find again that they launched a lot of missiles that they don't have anymore, according to the intelligence services of Great Britain, United States and Ukraine. But somehow they pull them out of their butts and still launch them. This article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine from November 1st, 2022. Russians launch 60 missile strikes in one day, General Staff report. More than 50 settlements, including Soledar, Vuhledar, Yakivka, and Vesele of Donetsk Oblast were affected by enemy strikes. The invading army also carried out attacks in the Sloboda direction using tanks, mortars, artillery, and rockets. In the Kupiansk direction, using mortars, artillery, and rockets in the areas of, and they give you about 5 settlements. In the Liman direction, using artillery of various types in the areas of the settlements of, and again, 4 areas here. In the Bakhmut direction, Bakhmut and Avdiivka, supposedly the Russians are conducting an offensive over there. Let's see what this guy say. In the Bakhmut direction, using tanks, mortars, rockets, and artillery in the areas of, so nothing about any offensive. In the Avdiivka direction, using tanks and artillery of various calibers in the areas of, and again, 4 settlements. In the Novopavlivka and Zaporozhye directions, using tanks, mortars, rockets, and artillery, and again 5 settlements there. In the Pivdeny Bukh direction, more than 20 settlements along the contact line came under fire. So that's it, and all this accounts for more than 60 missile strikes in a day. Well, this is just the how should I put it nicely, this is the general information on what happens on the front. But if you, for instance, go on Ukrainska Pravda, you find all kind of titles as Occupation Administration of Kherson moves to Skadovsk, General Staff reports. And then you have a drones fly towards Poltavka Oblast. The border areas of Sumy Oblast were shelled from Russia. The power system was damaged. It's only fair game to shoot back in Russia, I would say. And it says, Russian occupiers say residents of Kakovka district will be forcibly removed from their homes. For what reason, doesn't say. Russian MiG-8 helicopter and UAV shot down in Donetsk Oblast. it says here, the head of the Kiev Oblast says power outages might last weeks. That's unfortunate for the Ukrainian population. I tell you, I feel so anyway. And then he says that occupation administration of Kherson moves to Skadovsk. That's, I already said that one, but the problem is, are the Ukrainians in a new counteroffensive? Oh well, and then you got Medvedev, Dmitry Medvedev, the former president of the Russian Federation and former prime minister under Putin. I made a video where he smoothly and logically shows how actually this war could lead to a nuclear disaster, and he's talking very smoothly and logically from statements that if this occurs, this is the reaction to that, and that reaction to that would lead to this, and that would lead to this, and eventually would lead to atomic nuclear attack from Russia. And then we'll see when the ball is on the other field, the other team's area, see how they will play with it. Gonna shoot the Russians with some nuclear weapons, launch them or not, I don't know. The thing is, winter's coming. These guys destroyed the infrastructure. About 40% of the infrastructure is blown up, according to the Ukrainians. And some regions in Ukraine do not have and will not have power for weeks. For weeks. And in the meantime, you and I are doing okay, and those guys out there, not the angels or gods or anything like that, those guys in charge of us, they're doing even better. And there are the three big interests that actually coordinate all this bullshit. They're doing even better. Even better. They make record profits. And I'm talking about the economic. In economic, I will take the financial system, which are the banks, that will subsidize the high price of energy coming from the second pillar of interest, which is energy companies that make a kill right now. All of them. Right? All of them, they are kind of like in the loop, because for instance, the French do not make shit. The government has to loan money to pay over there. So then you have the banks making money, the energy making money, and the obvious, the suspects here are the military-industrial complex. Makes a ton of money, a lot of orders from Europe and from countries that are depleted of their weapons. So they're going to jump in and help. So in the meantime, the Ukrainians have no electricity. Let's drink a beer? I don't think so. It's just sad. Very sad, and I think this is criminal. Yeah, you say, well, the Russians do. Yeah, but if you go back, because you can't just go from the middle of the story. You have to go back chronologically. And how far do you go? Do you go only to the 24th of February? It didn't start there. You have to go at least to 2008. At least 2008. I'm not going to say 2014. That's a given. You have to look into that illegal overthrow of a legitimate, democratically elected government. Corrupt as it was, corrupt that these guys are, corrupt that those guys are, but it was democratically elected by the whole country. After 2014, those guys, they were elected after the coup. They were not elected by the whole country, so they're illegitimate, however you want to take it. Because they had these breakaway republics. They said, you know what, you're not going to kill us. We're going to defend. We don't recognize those thugs who took over with the help of foreign services. That's treason, which it is. Imagine that someone will take over here with the help of the Chinese. How would you call those? Revolutionaries or what? With outside help? A legitimate, democratically elected government? I don't think so. I think you will call it, those are traitors. Straight, not, oh my God. Let me think about the term. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.